Welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly, featuring the head coaches of Nicholls State University basketball, J.P. Piper and DoBee Plaisance. Colonel Basketball Weekly is presented by State Farm. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state. Colonel Basketball Weekly is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. Rouse's, either you're local or you're not. Good afternoon and welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. Not a bad week at all in Nicholls Hoops. We'll bring you highlights in a moment. Coming up later, Colonel Women's Basketball is back on the air. We'll also talk with both head coaches and much more. Let's begin with the men who were thumped by Stephen F. Austin at the close of their recent four-game road trip and entered last weekend's homestand without the services of freshman sharpshooter T.J. Carpenter, who was originally feared to be lost for the year with a shoulder injury. Starting the week in the middle of the Southland Pack, Nicholls would have to step up their game in order to remain in the hunt for a top spot, and they did just that. Thursday night, the Colonels hosted a struggling Texas A&M Corpus Christi squad, and the way this season has gone, Nicholls would dole out no sympathy. Fred Hunter, the reigning Louisiana Sports Writers Association Player of the Week, and the Islanders, one of the youngest teams in Division I, led by Will Allen, a Port Allen, Louisiana native. Now, it was all Fred Hunter early in this one. Hamid Ali misses baseline. Dantrell Thomas clears the rebound. Shane Rillier in transition spots Hunter in the corner. Fred nailed back-to-back threes to give Nicholls a 9-4 lead. Jeremy Smith has been torrid since entering the starting lineup earlier this month. Off the Dale Francis miss and Jamarcus Horace rebound, Hunter finds his streaking Smith in the paint. 7-minute mark, the Colonels up 7. Smith on his way to his fourth consecutive double-figure performance. Brazilian Pedro Maciel with his second straight start in place of Carpenter gets the friendly bounce here. Nicholls up 31-19 at the break. Early second half, good ball movement. Rillier here with a post feed to Hunter across the lane to Thomas. Dantrell didn't score at all in the first half, but finished with 15 points. Nicholls would hold Corpus Christi over 7 minutes without a point. Under 9 to go here, Jonathan Johnson with a bucket and foul. He scored a game-high 18 with 10 coming from the line. Nicholls up by as many as 17, but the Islanders make it interesting. Nelson yanks down the board, gives it up to Jordan, and gets it back here at the top of the key. Nelson with a 15-point, 11-rebound effort. It's a 9-point game with 6:20 to go. The advantage is just 6 before Zach West escapes a trap, finds DT, over to Horace for the slam. That sparked a 6-0 run and extinguished the comeback effort. Final minute, the Colonels break the press in clinical fashion. This was just fun to watch. Nicholls wins 69-62. Hunter ended up with 19 points on 8 of 10 shooting from the field. Now on Saturday, the Colonels would draw Sam Houston State, which started conference play with a 4-1 mark, but it dropped their last 2 games. A young, deep, well-balanced roster featuring senior guard Darius Gatson, who was averaging a team-high 9 points and 3 assists coming in. For the Colonels, redshirt junior guard Jeremy Smith has been on fire since the beginning of the Southland season, averaging over 12 points and nearly 4 boards per night. Now, Sam Houston got the jump. Smith trapped here in his strip. DeMarcus Gatlin finishes with a vicious dunk. Nicholls down 14 points just 12 minutes in. Amin Torres provided a big boost off the bench, though. All 12 of his points came before halftime. Nicholls goes into the locker room trailing 40-28. It got worse before it got better. Paul Baxter up the floor, hands to Gatson for the 3. It's an 18-point deficit with 18:30 left. Gatson scored 9. But here come the Colonels. Carpenter, in his return to the lineup, hit back-to-back threes to spark the comeback. This one pulls Nicholls within a dozen. 7 minutes left. Thomas tracks down a board and advances, hitting the cutting Smith in stride. It's a 3-point game. Jeremy scored 9. 6 minutes to play. Carpenter enters to Hunter. Fred draws the extra defender, shovels to Thomas for the lay-in. The deficit is down to 1. Dantrell was the hero of this one. With 4:22 remaining, Hunter at the line shooting 2. He makes the first. The Colonels come all the way back to tie it at 57. Hunter, though, would foul out a minute later. Sam Houston back up 3, 30 seconds left. Thomas and 1. 60-59 Cats with Thomas heading to the line, and DT was perfect. 7 of 7 from the stripe, 15 points, 9 boards, 2 blocks. We're going to overtime, tied at 60. Extra session, Nicholls down 1. Gatson misses a 3. Smith tracks it down. Here comes Nicholls. Rillier to Thomas, and the Colonels grab their very first lead of the day, 64-63 at the 3-minute mark. Nicholls up 3, final seconds. Sam Houston puts the ball in the hands of Gatson, but he's got nowhere to go. Gives it up to Will Bond, and Nichols forces him into a tough shot. He airballs it. The Colonels come from 18 points down in the second half and win in overtime. Playing the final 7.5 minutes without Fred Hutter, they held Sam Houston to 22% shooting after halftime. Nichols is now 6-12 overall, 5-3 though in the Southland. They moved into a tie for fourth place and will visit Oral Roberts tonight, followed by Central Arkansas on Saturday. And last week's results have head coach J.P. Piper fired up. We spoke with him earlier.
It was a big week for us. Started out with a win on Thursday night against Corpus. Guys played well, built a big lead. Probably lost focus a little bit, had to hang on, but rallied and finished the game off. And then came back on Saturday and really had a huge come-from-behind win against a very good Sam Houston team. Found ourselves in a deep hole early in the second half, down 18 points. Just never quit battling. Fought back, got it into overtime, never led in regulation. Got the game tied at the end, got it in overtime, and then was able to hang on for the win in overtime. A tremendous defensive effort in the second half and a lot to build on. A lot of positives in the second half of that game, and I thought we took a huge step forward as a team, which sets up well heading into these next two at Oral Roberts and then Central Arkansas.
For a team that was 1-9 at the end of the calendar year to now be 5-3 in conference play, what do you think really helped this team turn the corner?
Well, there's a lot of things. It's not a simple answer. I think one, Fred Hunter is getting comfortable in his role in leading us and being our go-to guy and helping us find ways to win games. His teammates have settled in around him. I think my coaching staff, particularly the assistant coaches, did a great job in the pre-conference of keeping a positive attitude with our guys, kind of willing them into believing that we were going to be a good basketball team despite what we went through in November and December. And you're seeing all those seeds that were planted then about what we thought we would be able to do kind of come into fruition. And I think we're only going to get better and better as we roll on through the conference. The games get tougher this week because they're on the road against two quality opponents. But I think back to the first time we played Oral Roberts, and we're a different team. We're a much better team. We're playing with a lot more confidence. We're defending better. And it comes at a good time because this is a stiff test. This is going to be a tough one. But I can't wait to see how we compete. And we lost by 13 here. So in my mind, anything other than a 14-point loss, anything within that margin of 13 or less is steps forward. And I'd like to think we'll go there and compete for a win.
You've already won twice on the road in conference, at McNeese and at Northwestern State. And look, the Demons just knocked off Stephen F. Austin. Anything goes in this league. Yeah,
and I think you look to that game and you say, you go in there and beat Northwestern by 15 on their home floor. There's no team in this league we can't beat. You just got to show up and grind it out and get the job done. And that'll be our attitude heading out on this two-game swing. And look, we told our guys there wouldn't be an easy night in conference for us. Every night's going to be a grind. And you look at Corpus's record, you think they're not a good team. They gave us all we wanted. We had to scratch and claw to win that game. So none of them's going to be easy. There's a lot of parity in our league this year. That's a good thing. And I can't wait to see us go compete and see how far we've come since the last time we played Oral Roberts.
All right, Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Head coach J.P. Piper will be right back with more Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by State Farm Insurance, in just a moment.
Does State Farm let me bundle auto, home, and life to save money?
Sure. We practically invented bundling, and it all stays with State Farm.
So my policies don't go to some bundling center that ships them off to some bundle factory? I'm dealing with you, and not some bungling, bustling bundle builders.
Who have you been working with?
Stay with the company you trust.
Bundle and save with your local State Farm agent.
At Rouse's, we love football. We love the players, we love the fans, and we love the food. So whether it's high school, college, or pros, if there's a game, we're tailgating. You can tackle your tailgate too with one stop by Rouse's. Get Rouse's ready to grill meat, chicken, and pork, or pick up Rouse's ready to serve tailgate specials. Everything is made fresh for the game, and it's all good. So get the home field advantage every time you shop. Shop local. Shop Rouse's. Now that's tailgating.
Back with you on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by State Farm Insurance. The Nichols women's basketball team started last week's homestand on a 2-game losing skid for the first time all year after surrendering a pair of double-digit leads on the road. Thursday, they would draw Texas A&M Corpus Christi, who traveled to Thibodaux without a win in conference play after blowing halftime advantages against the top 2 teams in the league the week before. Freshman guard Janae Blount, the leading scorer for an Islander squad that is next to last in the nation in offense. She came in averaging 9+ points per game. Senior Alicia Allen for Nichols, coming off her 3rd double-double of the year, 6th in the league in scoring. She's finished in double figures in all but one game. Allen wasted no time. Gets it top key, the drive, pump and fade. Nichols on the board first. Allen scored 20 points on 9 of 20 shooting. Corpus Christi hanging around early, 4 minutes and change gone by for Nequa Taylor. Dishes to Blount, nails a 3 from the sideline. The Islanders down 7-6. Blount, though, was limited to just 6 points. The Colonel's Imani White comes up big off the bench. She's given a little distance, and Imani makes the opponent pay. 17 points off the pine for White. Nichols racked up 21 steals in this contest and turned them into 32 points on the other end. Allen scoops up the loose ball and leads the break, finding Jenny Nash for the bonus ball. 15-7 Colonels at the 13-minute mark. The lead is as big as 13. Corpus gets it back within 6. In transition here, off the Taylor miss. The outlet from Saleda Ellis to KK Babin. White finishes. Nichols up 35-27 at the break. Second stanza, Nichols starts to pull away. White shovels to Allen, going baseline here. The spin, and she knocks it down. Allen with her second straight 20-point performance. It's an 8-point game with under 9 minutes left when Babin and Allen work their pick and roll. KK with 8 assists to go with 12 points and 7 steals. The Colonels forced 20 second-half turnovers. They led by as much as 17 points. Scott again. Quick hands for Jasmine Scott. White on the move, and the helper back to Jasmine. Nichols wins it 70-53 as the Colonels draw within 3 games of tying the program record for victories, which was set just last season. Now, the Colonels would have a tough time getting closer to that number on Saturday, drawing first place Sam Houston State. The Bearcats have featured the league's stingiest defense since conference play started, while Nichols has had the top offense. Junior guard KK Babin, second in the league in assists. She needed just 10 points coming into this one to reach 1,000 for her career. Sam Houston featuring the league's leading rebounder in junior forward Sequina Thomas, averaging 12.5 boards a night in addition to 13.5 points. She's Sam Houston's all-time rebounding champ. Rebounding would be the story of this one. 5 minutes in, Shanice Smith misfires, but Thomas cleans it up. 1 of 15 offensive boards for the Bearcats. The game tied at 9. Nichols behind by as many as 8, but at the 3-minute mark, Alicia Allen knocks it away from Thomas on the feed. Babin up the floor surveying, and Imani White puts it in the hands of Jenny Nash. The Colonels up 33-31. Each side knocked down 9 threes. Thomas would lead 5 double-digit scores for Sam Houston, finishing up with a game-high 18 points and 14 rebounds. That tied the game at 33. Nichols was down 2 at the half. Early second stanza, tied again. Allen trying to drive, defended well, defers to Leanne McCarthy. The bucket makes it 42-40 Colonels. McCarthy scored 11. But that would be the last lead for Nichols. Jasmine Johnson spots Smith open, 45-42 Sam, with 14 minutes to play. At the 12:06 mark here, Babin goes to the line, and there is career point number 1,000 for the Gonzales, Louisiana native, the 11th player in program history to reach the milestone. She's presented with a game ball by DoBee Plaisance. KK scored a team-high 17 points and recorded 5 assists. Now, this game was within 5 points for almost all of the second half, and it was KK Babin keeping Nichols in it. The 3-ball here pulls the Colonels within 2 with 3:29 to go. But Sam Houston would score the next 8. Nia Carter boards a Smith miss, laying it in. 25 second chance points for the Bearcats. The Colonels stand at 13-6 overall, 4-4 in conference. They visit Oral Roberts tonight and Central Arkansas on Saturday. Time to hear from head coach DoBee Plaisance on the Colonels' up and down week.
Last week, I mean, obviously with the game against Corpus Christi, we had the outcome that we desired, and I still wasn't very satisfied with some of the details or our focus to details even during that game. Although I felt like we had a very good practice on Friday, and I had a great feeling going into the Sam Houston game. But, rebounds are haunting us, both on the offensive and the defensive end. And today at practice was something we just had to address, and we were very physical about it. And the good news is that the kids stepped up to it. What that's going to equate to at the end of the day in terms of our actual numbers in the game, is we have to wait and see. But I can tell you one thing. I went very, very hard on them today. And when I go to cancel practice today or cut practice off, the player said, no, coach, we have to keep going. So it's an attitude. Rebounds is an attitude. Hard work is a skill. It does not take talent to rebound. Although we have a lot of talent on this team, we have to find a way to become better rebounders.
Well, one good piece of news that did come out of Saturday's defeat, KK Babin surpassing the 1,000-point plateau, and doing it is just a junior major accomplishment.
And KK is one of those special, one-of-a-kind players that I have said so many times, and any coach in his or her career that has an opportunity to coach a KK Babin has been blessed in their career. She's special. She does all the intangibles. She's the consummate team player, and those 1,000 points are not only a reflection of her, but it's what she brings to this team. The team respects her, the community respects her, and I just couldn't be any more elated for her and her family, because they're both entities are just special people.
Well, you already got Oral Roberts once on the schedule this year, picked up the win against them. What's going to be the key this time around?
Rebound. I told them after practice, I said, if you play the exact same way you played here to beat them, you're going to lose in Tulsa. It's a different game in Tulsa, and we have to bring more energy to rebounding. We have to bring more energy just to the focus of the details on the defensive end. We're able to put up numbers. Sam Houston leads the conference in defensive scoring, We put up a ton of points. We have to make the stops, and we're going to figure out a way to do that.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mike.
That's head coach DoBee Plaisance. While the Colonel women are still on pace for another record-breaking season, students from across campus have been given the chance to get in on the action. Ashley Dufresne has more.
Being involved in sports at Nichols doesn't mean you have to be an athlete. Thanks to a new initiative, students are getting closer to the game while gaining hands-on experience, preparing them for professional careers courtside. The university radio station 91.5 FM KNSU was always known for its alternative music format until this basketball season. Never before had the station covered an athletic event live. Just recently, sports shows were added to spice up the programming.
I know when I got to KNSU, there was really no sports department. There was no sports on the air. There was nothing. It was all rock. It was all, what KNSU is known for, alternative music. And last spring, I came in and I talked to our station manager, Nick, and I said, hey, man, I'd really like to get a sports show going. And before you know it, we ended up having a sports department where now we have multiple guys working in the sports department.
Gaining experience is a key factor for students pursuing broadcasting as a career. Here on campus, they get the opportunity to call Division I basketball.
Right now, the people doing it have never done any of it before. And if you listen to their first broadcast to their broadcast now, you can just see how much better they've gotten. And I think that brings tons of experience in itself, because what I don't think people realize is, especially at Nichols, you need to have these real-life working experiences before you go out into the real world and get those jobs that you're trying to get. Now with Regis, Norman, Philip Boudreau, all the people that are calling the games for us are getting to experience and call Division I college basketball live on the air, live on the radio, live on 91.5 KNSU. So I think the experience is huge, and it's definitely something that they'll be able to grow from, and definitely something they'll be able to use if they want to get into this field.
It helps KNSU because it allows the DJs who are interested in sports broadcast an avenue to get their feet wet and try it out. It was one of the reasons why I became a sports broadcaster for KNSU, because I always had an interest in it, and once I found out students at this level could get their feet wet and try it out, I figured, well, let me take a stab at it, and it's been a wonderful experience. So it was now 37-35, turning to the lead. Now Jimmy Nash with 11 points on the good.
Getting able to go into the big arenas and stuff, like went to Texas Tech, went to Lubbock, Texas. And that's where the national championship being played. It was a nice experience. They had all the fans around. And the game, it was intense and everything. Just being in that game speed where you got to call every single thing that goes on, and how fast the change the pace of the game changes, Like, you got to really pick it up to really change the speed and follow the game, and you got to describe everything, because it's like you're telling the audience a story. Ball is going around between the ball is tipped and stolen by Clemens.
Not only do the students benefit from the games being on air, but so does the team. The women's basketball program has had a lot of success lately, including the best start in school history. This gives locals a chance to listen and support the Colonels.
I felt it was important to put women's basketball over the radio because they haven't been getting a lot of coverage. But as Coach DoBee Plaisance has evolved the programs over the year, I felt that it was important for Nichols to get more coverage because they are the team of this area, and you're not going to get any support if nobody knows what the team is doing.
Going on air gives the students a chance to communicate and learn the craft of sports broadcasting before graduation. While talking about sports might sound easy, there's a great deal of skill involved.
Right, with the ball, she gives it to Allen. Allen shoots from beyond the arc. Go for it! It gives you a chance to practice communicating what you see. It sounds easy, but it's a lot more difficult than it sounds because just because you see what's going on, you don't always think about, like when you're watching a game, you don't always think about like, this player is throwing it to this player. You don't think about how the actions, you don't word the actions in your head, you just see it. But communicating the action gives you a chance to become a better communicator and do other things in the field, like maybe one day anchoring or maybe sports broadcasting professionally.
The opportunity students are gaining at Nichols will carry them a long way in their careers. Not only are they improving as broadcasters, but they are helping the Colonels get the support they deserve. For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Ashley Dufresne.
Does State Farm let me bundle auto, home, and life to save money?
Sure. We practically invented bundling, and it all stays with State Farm.
So my policies don't go to some bundling center. That ships them off to some bundle factory? I'm dealing with you, and not some bungling, bustling bundle builders.
Who have you been working with?
Stay with the company you trust.
Bundle and save with your local State Farm agent.
At Rouse's, we love football. We love the players, we love the fans, and you know we love the food. So whether it's high school, college, or pros, if there's a game, we're tailgating. You can tackle your tailgate too with one stop by Rouse's. Get Rouse's ready to grill meat, chicken, and pork, or pick up Rouse's ready to serve tailgate specials. Everything is made fresh for the game, and you know it's all good. So get the home field advantage every time you shop. Shop local. Shop Rouse's. Now that's tailgating.
Welcome back to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by State Farm Insurance. Let's go around Nichols Athletics with Pamela Johnson.
With the spring semester in full effect, this season's sports teams are geared up for the action that awaits them. Through fundraising and special training, student athletes are working hard to ensure that success is in their favor.
The Colonel Athletic Association held their annual Toast for Tennis on Friday to raise money for the men's and women's tennis teams. The event was organized by board member Trey Greco, who has been a longtime supporter of Nichols tennis. The night included dinner and music, along with a silent auction. Among those items up for bid were sports memorabilia and tennis lessons with members of the teams.
I think it was originally started by Trey, who he's always been really helpful towards the tennis team. He's always been very generous and always supported us. And decided, because of all our budget cuts, it's become a lot harder for us to maybe recruit some of the players that we need to do well and win conference, and travel to some of the schools that will help us improve. And so it's good to just raise a little bit of money that helps us travel and recruit a lot of good new players.
On Saturday, the Nichols softball team took part in a training session with local military personnel and student veterans. The servicemen and women worked the colonels hard to ensure they truly understood the meaning of teamwork.
Coach Angel called me saying that their team needs to be further developed as a team. I got together with Lieutenant Brabante. We came up with a game plan. We came up with key personnel to help lead this. Came up with some obstacles with some gear. And the whole focus of today was to get the meat out of them and get the we into them.
What I really wanted the girls to get out of today is the fact that they're a team. Yes, they're individuals, but they work as one to accomplish one mission, which in the military we're trained, you have purpose, direction, and motivation. Those three things are essential in any size element.
Today I've gotten know my teammates a little better and really work with the people who I don't normally work with, and I think it's improving our team.
Also over the weekend, the Nichols women's track and field team traveled to Jonesboro, Arkansas for an invitational hosted by Arkansas State University. The Colonels earned 3 top 5 finishes and several in the top 10. Junior Jackie White moved up to 800 meters after a 600-meter win the week before and finishing in second overall this time.
With my 800 race, my biggest problem is getting out fast because I tend to get out slow, which causes me on my first lap to get kind of boxed in. So I always get caught on my first lap, which slows me up. Then I have to play the speed game where I have to speed up, get caught, slow down, speed up, try to go around people, and it takes a lot of seconds off my time. I was really proud. We're growing as a team. I mean, the chemistry is great.
For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Pamela Johnson.
Thank you very much, Pamela. It's time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. Either you're local or you're not. Rouse's Supermarkets are local, with their roots established in Thibodaux in 1923. Trust Rouse's for great food and great values. Louisiana's best can be found at your local Rouse's or at rouses.com. Our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week is junior guard Dantrell Thomas, who averaged 15 points and 7.5 rebounds while going 14 of 16 from the charity stripe, helping the Colonels to a perfect 2-0 week on the court. Congratulations, Dantrell, and keep up the great work. Folks, there are plenty of ways you can follow Nichols Athletics on the internet through our social media outlets. Facebook.com/GoColonels, and remember it's GEAUX, Go Colonels. Twitter.com/Colonel Sports, YouTube.com/Nichols Athletics. And whenever you post something on one of our pages, use our hashtag GoColonels.com. Again, every which way to follow us through our social media outlets. You can keep up to the minute on everything going on around Colonel basketball and Colonel athletics in general. Folks, we've got another home game coming up for you Saturday, February the 9th. The Colonel men and women are back in town playing host to Southeastern Louisiana, and you can reserve your tickets in advance. Give us a ring at 985-448-4790. That's 985-448-4790. You can also purchase tickets in the comfort of your home or office by going to our official website. It's GoColonels.com, GEAUX, GoColonels.com. You can purchase tickets, look at biographical information, the latest stats, game recaps, whatever you want, all right there. GoColonels.com. Check it out every day. We always have something new posted. That is going to do it for our program today. Again, the Colonels are headed to Tulsa, Oklahoma, taking on Oral Roberts tonight. You can listen live. The women's game will be on KNSU 91.5 FM in Thibodaux and on the internet at GoColonels.com. The men's game, you can hear that on the Colonel Sports Radio Network. We're back in town next Saturday for a doubleheader against Southeastern Louisiana. For Pamela Johnson and Ashley Dufresne, my name is Mike Wagenheim. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again on Colonel Basketball Weekly next Thursday at 3 o'clock. Today's show has been presented by State Farm. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state. This show has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. Rouse's, either you're local or you're not. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.